Before we go any further, subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you can get new videos depending on the schedule. "2024 was argued to be the most controversies and scandals for online personalities and other celebrities. Controversies in question include Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, for exploiting minors during the infamous Diddy parties known as freak-offs, Stephen Williams, aka Boogie2988, for faking cancer and saying the N-word with the hard R, and Jason Itzler, aka Mr. Based, for assault, pimping, murder, and being an awful influence to Josh Block. And the list, as you could tell, is very long. While the controversies is still ongoing as of 2025, we feel it may be time to examine the goanimate community's controversial users. It's no secret that the goanimate community has a lot of controversial goanimators with their disturbing secrets and unpleasant ones, like Joey Nigro for grooming and zoophilia, Alex Kimball for CP and harassed a person named Ed McDonald, Harry Strack, Roku Khan, and PaperLuigi99 for having brutal punishment days that involve CP, and Louie95 for his horrendous rants on Ukraine. But in this video, I decided to look at none of the above, mainly because they have already been talked about, including the former. The controversial goanimator I want to focus on is the famous goanimator, with the controversies being forgotten, as it happens to be African Vulture, real name Sarah Brodsky. If you don't know who she is the creator of the Nutsies, Holy Any Name, tribute videos, video game bloopers, and of course, the Mouthless Girl series. And you also may know her as the person who debatably started the caillou gets grounded trend. Depending on your view, she is described as the best goanimator who gives advices and tips when making goanimate content and makes funny videos. However, from my perspective, or some people's perspective, she is immature, a hypocrite, and the best way to describe her is a Karen. What you may not know is, despite making funny videos, she has done some horrible stuff over the years. So, we actually decided to talk about her content and her downfall. That being said, let's begin. I feel this infamous grounded series about a 4-year-old with a big imagination is the best way to start this video. You see, for a brief retrospective, caillou aired in the year 2003, and as you would expect, he has been controversial due to him pinching his sister once and throwing a tantrum. This was during the first 3 seasons of the show, as he has become more mature in later seasons. But the internet's response, as many people describe him as a brat, as this results making videos out of him, mostly towards goanimators, and of course, African Vulture herself. I'm not defending caillou, nor do I consider him as a god, but what I'm saying is, for African Vulture, she has an unhealthy hatred for caillou and is constantly making grounded videos out of him, as there are a lot of videos dedicated to it, such as the Floor is Lava challenge, punching his dad, and the most formulaic types of videos, reenacting fictional characters and turning his sister into anything. While there are times that he is good in certain videos she makes, but truthfully, the Grounded series hogged many of her actual projects and videos. Don't blame her, blame the algorithm. Anyways, I would say it not just applies to caillou, but it also applies to other preschool shows, as we are going to rank the grounded videos from least to most from African Vulture that is preschool based. OCs like Clyde and Preston, and other media shows like Jeffy, and Elsa will not be included. So with that being said, let's rank them from least to most. Starting things off with a three-way tie. Arthur, Sesame Street, and of course Sid the Science Kid only had a grand total of 2 grounded videos. Franklin only had a total of 7 videos. Peppa Pig only has 11. The 2 Australian shows, like The Wiggles and Bananas in Pajamas, each had 14. Little Bill only has 57. Her Dora videos have a total of 74 videos. And then we finally have Caillou, which is ranked first in her videos. The reason why African Vulture has an unhealthy hatred for Caillou was because her Caillou videos have a grand total of 1,000 videos out of Caillou.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
And now, longtime viewers are probably aware of this, as some people have stopped doing Caillou Gets Grounded videos. Not because people lost interest, but it was because of something else. And that would be the biggest question. Was she aware of the existence of Little Brown Bear? Is the one person you might be asking. If you don't know who the character is, well, we will make it brief when I say, in late 2024, people noticed and did some research that the titular bear was worse than Caillou. As some people would say, Caillou became less bratty and more mature in later seasons. That is, according to most people, including Matt Neff, the person behind FUDW. To answer your question, we did not live in that reality. Probably yet. Even if African Vulture was aware of his existence, she would probably not make this grounded series. Additionally, the YouTube icon usually features her main OC in every way, shape, and form. But theoretically, in favor of this infamous grounded series and the YouTube algorithm, she likely abandoned the Mouthless Girls series and other series that she used to work on, except for tribute videos, which they're actually well made, as she did recreate people what they look like in real life, such as John F. Kennedy, Kobe Bryant, Elvis Presley, James Earl Jones, and Britt Allcroft, among others. I would talk about the other videos she makes, but I feel like it might be time to look for her controversial side. Because if you think her Caillou Gets Grounded videos are the reasons why I never liked her from the get-go, well, you're wrong. There are a lot of more controversies that she got herself into. So hop on, folks. Things are going to get worse. Another problem with African Vulture's channel and videos is that she actually has very sensitive fans. We've seen a lot of toxic fan bases, but African Vulture's whiteknights or fan base, they're actually the worst when it comes to goanimate. Whenever you criticize African Vulture, you get harassed by her fan base, aka her whiteknights. I'm not kidding. Some people pointed out the other flaws, which I'll discuss later on in the video. Then her whiteknights come barging in to call her hater out. Whatever the case, she also has a notorious reputation when it comes to harassment, as there are a lot of examples. For starters, a former goanimator named Geo, formerly known as the FanGuy123, told Sarah to be original, which caused her to tell her fanbase to send hateful messages, as this appalled him, so he cut ties with her. While he isn't any better because of his plenty of controversies, this does not excuse harassing him. After that, Not Smirks called her and the fanbase out for doing something like this, and this didn't end well for him. This may be cut short, but you'll see why later on in the video. And it's mainly because of her controversy and a certain drama that happened to her twice. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about probably another controversial thing that literally got her in hot water. Yes, you can tell by the title. African Vulture legitimately defends pedophiles. This is specifically on Paper Luigi 99, Harry Strack, and Roku Kun Beyonder, and later on, Above Floor's Animations. Sorry if I butchered her name. This video is one of those instances where Sarah Bratigam, aka African Vulture, is a major hypocrite. She hates pedophiles and predators and makes videos out of them and tells us that they should be off the internet. And yet, she made a video defending the users who did the same thing. Her claims? Well, censoring them is not CP.
Second of all, in the latest video called Caillou's Birthday Punishment Day, as you can see at the part where Caillou had his private part being cut off, you will clearly see that Caillou's private part have been censored with a Mr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog. Because it is censored, that is not CP. If it is not censored, it would have been CP and the video would have been taken down, and it is against YouTube's terms of services.
I had to censor it for a reason. It was actually because it was poorly censored.
Shown in this screenshot, in the video called Caillou asks Gina out rejected kills Gina arrested, at the bathroom scene, you'll see a mosaic prop that is covering up the woman sitting on the toilet. That mosaic prop is used for censorship and for privacy. That is not CP and that is not pedophilia, because it is censored with a mosaic prop and there is no sign of sexual gratification.
Gina is a teenager, thank you very much. Next thing.
As you can see at the part of Little Bill electrocuted and killed his teacher's second punishment day, this is clearly not CP or pedophilia. Little Bill was fully clothed. His parents were clearly spanking him with 2 shovels, as they said. Also, at the part in this same video, this also not CP or pedophilia. As you look closely, you can see a blender at the bottom while Little Bill was sitting on it. It is also censored with a mosaic prop which covers up the gruesome part of it to keep not too graphical, so there are no wrongdoings and no sign of sexual activity involving minors in this video. So that pretty much explains why the 3 goanimators are innocent, although their videos contain some fictional cartoon violence, just like horror and dark comedy. If you still don't like any of them, it's okay. Just ignore them and move from them. Thank you for watching and understanding. This is me signing off.
What the is wrong with you, Sarah? I thought you hate these types of users. You're the same person who wants pedophiles off the internet, but you resorted to defending them despite doing the same thing? This is literally messed up. And why are people still friends with her? Well, AV whiteknights would say South Park and Family Guy got away with it. Well, if that's the case, some people like these types of humors, while others aren't fond with them. Like Victor Tanzig, who made some unpleasant but somewhat mediocre shorts and snippets. But these guys took it too literally towards minors. The real reason why people are not against them, like Family Guy and South Park as I discussed earlier, is because these 2 shows are actually different from GoAnimate, as they're actually done correctly. But GoAnimate takes it a step further, as this would explain the many reasons why people made parents of kids show characters from their respective users getting arrested and executed in wake of the users that made them. While African Vulture herself was aware of it, she resorted to defending Brutal Punishment Day videos and defaming them, even though these types of videos aren't any better.
There's a big difference between fictional discipline in goanimate videos and real-life storytelling about child abuse. However, some people confuse the 2, which leads to misunderstandings and controversies. What is fictional discipline? Fictional discipline refers to the exaggerated punishments seen in grounded and punishment day videos. These punishments are often over the top, being realistic and meant for comedic, dramatic, or storytelling purposes. Here are some examples. Caillou getting grounded for an unrealistic number of years. A punishment day with extreme cartoonish punishments. Characters facing ridiculous consequences for minor misbehavior. So why is it not the same as real-life child abuse? These videos follow a storytelling format similar to Tom and Jerry, where exaggerated violence happens but isn't meant to be taken seriously.
Tom and Jerry is actually different from goanimate also. In addition, she also makes Punishment Day videos, mostly towards Caillou, adding in her unhealthy hatred for a fictional character. Probably those aren't on the same levels as the 3 users that made them, debatably. This does not excuse the implication of promoting child abuse. While we're getting off of child abuse, we gotta talk about the racism thing. She makes a video about Rosie saying the N-word with the hard R. While she didn't say that word, thankfully, this was despite being a few years ago before the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, and she was also aware about the BLM movement in 2020, hence the description, as she decided to re-upload it because, what? Archival purposes?
You got to be kidding me!
While we're on the same section, she has a fascination for a foreign country known as Africa. Now, having a fascination for a foreign country is a nice thing to have, knowing its culture. I actually have a fascination for Japan, but Sora took it way to the extreme, as there are also rumors that she might be African American just to have multiple tans. Just to be clear, you can have the tan anytime you like, but just to make you African American, that alone sounded kind of messed up. Though debunking it, it was probably despite the fact that her channel was named after a bird she owned before it died, knowing the parrot has the characteristics of a vulture. One of the more recent things African Vulture would do is quote-unquote responding to her critics. In wake of the African Vulture destroyed goanimate rumors, and Trashy Beyond Videos wiki making a few articles about her videos, she would make posts and videos about herself and the one video about the infamous grounding god, defending herself and grounded videos as a whole, and explaining why she is not at fault for the goanimate website's downfall. This has always been a recurring issue.
GoAnimate has removed Comedy World and other non-business themes because it is not compatible with Adobe Flash anymore and has moved on to a replacement net called HTML5 that has nothing to do with me. My caillou gets grounded videos or other grounded video.
Now, responding to the rumors isn't actually really a bad thing. In fact, it's actually an understandable reason, due to having not only a few instances where some people are incorrect and didn't look up things correctly, but it was also because goanimate was indeed turned into a business animation site. And she clearly did not ruin goanimate whatsoever. But is there any problems? Well, we really gotta talk about the problems right now.
If you want the community to be better and more peaceful, then stop blaming me and others. Take accountability of your content, especially my caillou characters you're using. Go watch another channel that will make you happy.
One of the problems is that people, including her own fan base, have pointed out that she had sounded like a broken record. For those that don't know, a broken record is an idiom. It's a type of idiom whereas you repeat the same complaints and phrases over and over and over again. While making a video debunking the rumors would have been very understandable, but making community posts, several of them, with the same message would often irritate people, and that is the problem I have with it. It's one thing to make several statements that she didn't ruin the site in community posts. It's another to make a video about a kid getting grounded for throwing an iPad after reacting to a grounded video out of Caillou.
Billy, I can't believe you did that to your own iPad. Caillou and his dad are fictional. It's just animation.
That is where I have another problem. First of all, she's making a video out of a modern kid who has already been destroyed by everyone outside of the goanimate community. Second, describing the hate base as Go Kids or Caillou fanboys is probably some of the Go F slur. And third, this wasn't even a response video. It's basically yet another grounded video. I'm not defending John Alpha Kids knowing that they aren't any better, but making fun of them is a lot similar to taking bad users and trolls too seriously. Now, creators of TV shows like to make fun of toxic fans in good or bad scenarios. Some of them want to get even with them, but goanimate takes it a step further, again. And the worst part is that half of the people followed the Caillou fanboy trend. Another thing that makes African Vulture one of the most controversial users is she not only cannot handle criticism, but she also sees it as harassment. The most discussed controversy for African Vulture is the time Itzack Studios, formerly known as Isaac Aronson Animation, made a video criticizing African Vulture's video.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I dislike her goanimated videos out of everything the most. Now, I'm not saying her videos are the worst thing ever made, but her videos are just so bland, unfunny that it appeals to me further than any goanimate video I could ever see. AV, describe what a caillou goanimate parody means. Just because your caillou videos are different than other ones doesn't mean they're better. I don't consider my caillou videos as parodies, but the thing is I don't declare them as anything to do caillou goanimate videos. The only joke you could ever come up with is to zap a finger and call it quote unquote goanimate logic. I'm not trying to be mean to you, AV. The whole point of my video is to point out the problems with your videos and what you need to do to improve.
The review he makes has aged quite well because the truth is, the funny videos African Vulture makes isn't even funny whatsoever. And despite his statement that it wasn't a personal attack, she resorted to seeing it as harassment. Despite the videos she makes having the same formula over and over and over again. And there are also rumors that African Vulture had terminated him, even though it was later on revealed that Isaac made a pretty disturbing video. After he was terminated, African Vulture resorted to making a video pretending she cared about him. Keep in mind, she also harassed Pyrocynical when he made a video about one of her videos again. We'll go back to that later. But for now, we gotta talk about one of the most common things about her, that being the infamous African Vulture cycle. One of the most common things is that she wanted to end her Caillou Gets Grounded videos and retire goanimate in favor of Gacha Life and being an actual animator. But she is still making this content. Even if she can retire goanimate and be done making grounded videos altogether, as far as we know it, we cannot see this happen. This happens every time. She would often make a series finale of CGG and retire from goanimate, and then she changed her mind and continues to make them. As there are many things. She acts childish, gets into drama, makes videos of them, apologizes, and it often repeats over and over and over again. Before we get to the next section, we feel we gotta talk about something that is more recent. The most recent one has to be her nutshell videos, as she has to make a couple of nutshell videos, most commonly Joey Nigro, given that he is the most talked about for many videos and artwork about him being nicknamed Joey Nerdgro or whatever. I'm not defending him, nor do I condone his actions, but what I'm saying is, the video I'm actually going to talk about is secretly a hate video, and a gruesome one that is. The reason for pointing that out is because African Vulture might have an audience that is kid-based, and if the kids saw the video, they would have been very traumatized, and she would have gotten herself banned from Flash Themes for life, and her YouTube account would have been terminated and getting herself arrested. And that goes for him and the username EDP445. This was despite her violating one of the rules in Flash themes that you're not allowed to cyberbully anyone. But apparently, African Vulture sees an opportunity to harass him, and African Vulture resorted to defending the Nutshell videos, declaring him as her favorites, and stated that Joey Nigro is a horrible person and doesn't deserve support, when African Vulture herself is more than just a horrible person, as African Vulture, deep down, is the real-life version of Karen McCarranson, who definitely does not deserve support after her 2 controversies she got herself into. And it brings up the last section. To make a long story short, when Pyrocynical released a commentary on one of her videos, African Vulture got pissy with it. We talked about it briefly, but we actually decided to get into more context because it gets worse. She harassed him every tweet she made and wanted him to feel ashamed of himself for making this video. But many people pointed out that she is doing this just to be a Karen. And she also harassed a person who quit YouTube, and even telling goanimate it's not like goanimate deserved 14.6 thousand subscribers. And this has been going on. And as you can tell, this was pretty much during her mental breakdown arc. And unsurprisingly, she even got her sister involved in the conflict, as SAR sees it as harassment. A few remaining videos, including clips, surfaced online involving YouTubers and goanimators confronting Jenny Brazigam, her sister.
I want you to grow up, and I want you to have a good life. But you need to work on your positive comments, please.
So, for me and my sister. And when you with my sister, you with me.
As she acted as entitled as Sarah is, insulting people even though they had to criticize her for a reason. And she even claimed that she worked for the FBI, and we honestly wouldn't be surprised if she worked for them anyway. And to top it all off, during the breakdown, she stated that GoAnimate is about perfection, when in reality, it's not about perfection. It's just a small drag and drop animation software that shares your fan animations on YouTube. And then we arrive at 2021, 2 years after she had destroyed her reputation. She harassed a few more people like Victoria Animate for copying her intro, though it could be debatable whether it was understandable or not. While she was terminated, briefly, African Vulture resorted to doing a very hateful video, doing a coffin dance that we see on YouTube during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then Ray Cynical had pointed out that African Vulture was doing this to be hateful, as she resorted to sending her whiteknights due to that. While Ray Cynical isn't any better due to CP, this also does not excuse her worst moment, as she resorted to sharing Ray's post by telling her fan base to attack him, leading to leave GoAnimate briefly, and making a video and rebranded it into Ray Cynical Archive. And then she resorted to celebrating his departure, and then when he returned, he made a video out of her, as she was furious. One person actually resorted to ending the feud once and for all. And there have been arguments and comparisons to other controversial people that she had. Some people described her as the GoAnimate equivalent of Derek Savage, aka Daddy Derek, the creator of the infamous Cool Cat series. While Sarah did not scam people for money, they pointed out because they harassed people over them not being fond with both their series and abused the copyright system. while others, aka the good majority of them, described her as the goanimate version of Chris Chan. While she did not do something questionable to her mother, the reason for comparison is because, keep in mind, this wasn't an immature teenager in high school who spreads misinformation and gossips, labeling herself as superior, but a 41-year-old woman. Should older people use goanimate? As long as certain stuff are original, perhaps. But it may be possible that she still acted entitled, as these two controversies have destroyed her own reputation. So, ending this video right here, right now. Here are my final thoughts. Is Sarah Brotzicom, aka African Vulture, the worst goanimator? No. Did she ruin goanimate? Absolutely not. Are there certain aspects that I like about her channel and she's worth separating the art from the artist? Yes. Did she improve her behavior as a whole? Probably not. Understandably, there are way worse goanimators than she would ever be, as I said in the beginning of the video. But when you can't handle criticism, considering them as harassment, defending pedophiles, having an infamous cycle, acting like a Karen, and having an unhealthy hatred for a fictional character get to you, these are the reasons why I consider African Vulture to be the worst goanimator. Or rather, wait, I take that back. Rather, I never liked her from the get-go. And you could argue that, yes, I do have some sympathy for her, as misinformation and cyberbullying wasn't easy. But it is still not surprising that a goanimator who has 100,000 subscribers, the first being Suya, would not face her, as despite her controversial nature, even when they knew it, the fan base had made sure that they were forgotten. Because of this, African Vulture is still making Caillou Gets Grounded videos and goanimate videos as a whole, and nowadays her fan base are still on alert and made sure everyone treat her like a human being despite pointing out her controversial nature, and that her controversies are still relevant even as of 2025. Flash teams even went as far as to sweep them under the rug after they pointed out her controversial nature. And it is unlikely that she is going to change her behavior for the better. Why is she still supported and a popular goanimator is a mystery to us, and we may never know.